Welcome again to the Sunday Gorilla Men's Bible Study. I'm Brother Thomas Lee Harris III. Today's message is entitled, A Sandbox of Faith. And I know that's a weird title, so let me jump right in and break it down to you. The message was inspired by the current state of our economy, the recession, a lot of people out of work, cutting education, firemen getting laid off, policemen, everybody. It seems like it is going through a trial, a hard time. So this message is for those who believe in God. And the title, Sandbox in Faith, you may have never heard before, but how the Lord gave me this message. Spirit, I was thinking of my childhood, and I grew up as a child. I was in the 1970s, the 80s, and for a good time, parents would take their children to the park, and the equipment in the park used to be the merry-go-round. They had the monkey bars, the swings, but one of the beginning tools in the park that all children made a stop at was the sandbox. Nowadays you don't hear about it too much. I think environmentalists have complained it wasn't clean, but psychologists have even noted that the sandbox was so important for children for stimulating their senses. But when you look at it, there really isn't anything in the sandbox but sand. But if you see the expression on kids' faces, and I remember, it's like a new world. It was your feeling. You got to build. You could build sand castles. You know, if you got a little shovel and you could dig. Your imagination in that sandbox was endless. And that tied to the sandbox, that emotional tie to the sandbox, it transitioned to many of us as adults with our fascination with the beach. How we on a good day off would be a trip to the shore, or a trip to Cancun. That fascination with the beach. And when you think about the beach and the sandbox, it's the minimal amount of materials to play with. All imagination is really generated from within. But it's such a sense of peace and fun being on the beach and in the sandbox. And there lies the message, sandbox in faith. If we take away all the materials in our life, the car, the clothes, the memberships, all our friends. We spend so much time trying to collect friends on Facebook, get followers on Twitter, gathering stuff, and it seems like we're more and more miserable. But that faith, that sandbox faith, is that even though it's the least amount of materials, you feel that peace and you feel like you've got it all. You're happy. A little kid in the sandbox is truly happy. Later on in life, adults introduce toys and everything else to him. But his hands in the sand are just amazement. He's just amazed with the sand. It's the same like as adults, we walk in the beach, just the sand in our toes. The most minimal amount of materials. The sand and the water. People seem to be the happiest. They're at peace. And that's how our faith needs to be. Knowing that God's going to supply all our needs. And it's not based on materials. I got sandbox faith. It's not based on the materials. But my faith in God it's the same as that child that child in the sandbox, or that day off down the shore, just walking in the sand, walking on the beach with the absence of material. My faith in God is as sure and as happy and as peaceful as my childhood playing in the sandbox. Amen. God bless you.